I didn't think I would have to explain this ever in my life, but this is for those who don't consider relationships to be important anymore. And let me tell you why relationships are important and why they matter and why they're tied directly to your happiness. So if you think about the four concepts or four aspects of happiness, they are physical, spiritual, emotional, as well as mental. Okay? So when a man and a woman get together, they are investing in each other. That means physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. All of these aspects are directly tied to your well-being, happiness, and success. So think 10 times before you settle for casual sex, because what you're doing is basically trading in the 25% for the 25%, the physical intimacy, for the 75% and sacrificing your emotional, spiritual, and mental intimacy. And that means that you don't have a strong connection. And then you wonder why you are unhappy. Okay, well, so if you're still in a relationship and you're not happy, that means there's something wrong with these. So physical, if you're not getting any physical intimacy between each other, that means that's something you need to work on. Spiritual, so if you guys don't believe in each other, spiritual just means just having faith, having trust, having somebody that you can count on, having integrity, having all the intangibles that the world doesn't offer or that you can't buy. The third is emotional. Do you feel safe? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel love? Do you feel compassion? All of these things make up the third part of the relationship. And the fifth is the mental and the mindset. So are you guys both in a great mindset in order to help each other succeed in life, help each other be happy, and help each other's well-being by growing each other? That's what a good relationship looks like. And if you're not happy in your relationship, before you walk away, remember it's an investment. So do you want to take a L, or do you want to get the rewards of your relationship and actually get the benefits for a long term? It's just like an investment. If you think about a stock market, it's like you invest in something, you're not going to walk away from that company. So if you can fix any of these things, don't sacrifice your investment. But if you have tried to fix each one of these things and still feel like, hey, you know what, there's no getting anywhere with this, then that means that the person you're with has either one of these issues or they need to grow in one of these areas. If you could try to get them the proper help, and if they're willing to receive the proper help, continue investing in the relationship. But if they're not willing to get the proper help and they're struggling to maintain all four of these aspects in their life, that means that, you know, that person really is not ready to be in a relationship. And that doesn't make them good or bad. It just means that they're not there yet and you're investing in the wrong person. Okay? If you say, hey, well, things were great and something happened, well, you lost your intimacy at some point. So go back and figure out where exactly is the missing link. It's in one of these four. Okay? Your communication lies with your emotions. Emotions really arouse everything within us, right? If your emotions are erratic, if your emotions aren't good, if you're sad, if you're feeling abused, if you're feeling not loved, that means that's gonna screw up your mindset. If your mindset is not good, that means your choices and your decisions in your life is gonna screw up your physical and your spiritual activity, and eventually your finances as well. It really starts with your emotional well-being. You need to figure out a way to correct that, because that means that if you're struggling with communicating with each other, if you're struggling with being vulnerable with each other, if you don't know how to please each other anymore, it's really stemming from some sort of pain and an emotional barrier. Or if you're having a hard time forgive each other, right? We go through so many resentments. It's hard not to have resentments, even with our kids or our parents or our loved ones. Those are the people that we have the resentments against the most. But it is also up to us to do our job in order to come over our emotional state. So we also need to have the ability to forgive. And you're saying, well, how do I figure out when is it a good time to forgive and when is it not a good time to forgive? And that's something we can discuss, and that's something you can sort out. But in order to sort yourself out first and get the toxicity out of your system, out of your heart, out of your mind, out of your soul, all of this, you're gonna have to have a spiritual connection, and that means faith, okay? Spirituality just means faith. You gotta have faith in yourself. You gotta have faith in what you're doing. You gotta have faith in what's gonna happen tomorrow. You gotta have faith that the sun will rise tomorrow. You gotta have faith that things will work out. So all of those things give you hope. And once you have hope, you're able to fix your emotions and then work on your mindset. And then you could be physical. And then you could go back to your spirituality and say, practice gratefulness, saying, thank you. I got everything that I was looking for and I'm happy. So without all four of these things, you're not happy, okay? And it's just impossible to be happy without having all four of those aspects in any relationship. So I know a lot of people who are having casual sex are gonna say, well, I don't really need all of this shit and I'm okay with casual sex. Okay, well, think 10 times before settling for casual sex. Okay? Your physical intimacy, you're trading that in for all of these things. So if you think you're good emotionally all by yourself, if you think you're perfect spiritually all by yourself, if you think your mindset is great all by yourself, then casual sex is a great thing for you. But guess what? Most of the people having casual sex have the most problems creating and having intimacy within their relationships. So there's a direct correlation that says that this is not worth it, okay? And so if you don't have all four of these aspects, you don't have intimacy. What you're doing is using each other for sex, okay? And there's a reason why it's called using, okay? And abuse has the word use in it. You're putting yourself through abuse and you're abusing your own body because of your emotional well-being is not good and your mental well-being is not good and your spiritual well-being is not there. So you only have your physical body to work with. That's what that means when you're engaging in only casual sex, and that's your definition of life, love, and happiness. Like if that's what it's come down to, then I really recommend talking to somebody like me, working with somebody like me, or anybody else in order for you to get back to your happy being, okay? You can't be happy unless you have all four of these. You could look up all the research. It doesn't say you gotta have $1 million. It doesn't say you gotta have a particular house or a particular handbag and a particular status. That's all bullshit, okay? Because even if you did have all that, then why are those people unhappy? If you could give me an answer to that, I'll be happy to hear that, okay? But you don't. And the thing is that these are the four main components of happiness, right? And if you're not happy by yourself, with yourself, you don't feel good about yourself physically, you don't feel good about your spiritual connection with whatever higher power that you might assume, and whatever emotional state you're in, you constantly need validations and people's approval for you to be okay, that means that you need help, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, because throughout our life, there's a reason why it's abuse and use go together, right? Abuse and use is a major component of it. So we all have been used, we all have been abused, we all have some sort of trauma. But not all of us do the work that's necessary to heal from the trauma, to heal from the abuse, to heal from the people using us, and to lay the boundaries, and to have the strong support system, and to have a backbone to say no, right? During those moments, during those people-pleasing days. So once you master that, you're like in a perfect spot to be in a relationship, to have a family. Most importantly, you're in a perfect spot to be happy with yourself. And once you're able to be happy within, then you're able to be happy with somebody as well. And that's the entire basis of a relationship. And once you do that, then it's up to both of you to have that physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental check-ins with each other, and make sure you guys are doing your part in order for the relationship to succeed. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm going to be making a more detailed video about the 4 aspects of happiness, because everybody wants to be happy, but they just don't know how to even define happiness for them. And going back to the physical intimacy, physical and spiritual things are tied together in sex. So really be careful and remember that it's all energy whenever you are engaging in sexual activities. Either with somebody you know for a long time, somebody you feel comfortable with, or a casual person, Tinder dates, hookups, random one-night stands, whatever that may be for you. Just know that you are participating in your own abuse, okay? And that means that you need to reach out to somebody to get help.